Okay, good morning class. Today's video is a review on what you learned on Tuesday. Congratulations, you have made it to the end of Marvelous Designer, although you will still remain tinkering with this viewer or not of the program. And I do realize that some of you have been having issues with the program. Please, if you continue to have those issues, just let the dean know. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me. But let the dean know, and he will be able to give you a definitive answer on it. I'm having issues as well. So, with all that being said, this class is a little bit of a review on the last couple of weeks. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys how to do the piping. So you're going to go over here to the 3D menu, and you should have this figure here. And if you don't see it, it will sometimes be, you'll see this little arrow, and if you left click on that, it'll be down in this menu here, if you don't see it. And usually when that happens it's because your box or your view screen is a little too small. So if you stretch it, make it bigger, then you'll see everything. Same thing over here. Your view screen might be a little bit too small, but if you make it bigger, then you should see everything. So it's really easy to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some trim or hemming around the sleeve here. So you're going to just put your cursor over it, and it should get a drop down. If not, then you can just left click and you go to piping. And what you're going to see is a little blue dot, and then you left click, and it's going to do a semicircle line around whatever you're doing. And then once you get it to where you like it, you're going to double left click, and this is what you'll get. Now to edit it, you go back up to the piping, put your cursor over it, and you change it to edit, and then you just edit it. My tip is you find where you sold it, and you just match it to the other side, and you go a little past the point where it sews together. So this is how you do it. And then you're gonna simulate it to check it, and you see this is how it looks. And when you zoom out, it looks much better. Now, say you don't want it that thick, then you go over here to your property editor, and you can change the width. So I'm gonna take mine down to 2. It's going to do that for you. And then you're just going to get a little bit of a trim here just to finish off your garment. But you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. So let's say I want it to be much thicker than that. I can go all the way up to 10. So it gives it more of a kind of rolled up sleeve look. And you can do that on both sides. So it makes it look like the sleeves have been rolled up. This is how you can trick the eye or just add more detail onto your garment depending on what you're making. Now, that's the basic way of just finishing your garment, but you can also add, say you have your pleats, you have a pleated skirt. So you can go and you can even do add some depth to the pleats here. Make it look kind of 3D. Or even give it a patched look. You can do that. There's a lot you can do with this with the piping. And for right now, though, I just want you guys to just finish it. Just finish your garments, get them ready, because we're going to get into Substance Painter. So I'm finishing up my garment here. Just be mindful of where you are taking it. So you can start one side and then go to the other side. Just continue it as long as you're in the edit menu. Simulate it. Make sure everything looks good. Again, you can make this bigger. Keep in mind, if you make it bigger, this is going to be more noticeable. So you got to make sure that you have that good. So just bear that in mind if you make it bigger. It's going to be more noticeable. So genuinely, rule of thumb, 3 inches is usually good. So, see, this is, you see how I've made this one 10? You see how it looks like hemming? You can do that with this. But I'm going to leave it at 3 for now. So there's many different ways you can do stuff with this piping. And then you have the little bit of trim down here as well. So you have that done. Don't worry about if you see nipples, if you're using the reborn body, that is. You know, most bodies you can remove the nipples. So now that you have that done, the next thing you're going to do is prepare it to be removed. Now, we talked about top stitching, but as of right now, I don't want you to worry about top stitching, but I will go over it with you. So when it comes to the top stitching, you're going to, this is the button for top stitching. So you're going to go over here and you're going to go to segment sewing. And then everywhere where you have sewn, that's where you're going to stitch. So all you're going to do is put your cursor over it and left click. It's going to turn pink to indicate that you have stitched it. You're going to do that on both the front and the back. Anywhere it has sewn together, that includes the sleeves. So, and don't forget the sides on both sides. You can do the bottom as well because you're going to have that trim down there. And you can do the the tops. So now that you've done that, you have, it's now all sewn together. So you're going to go over here and you're going to go to top stitch. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to give it a second because it's freezing. Double click on that or click on it and you're going to go down here and you can change the color. I'm changing the color so that you all can see the stitching. When you go on this side, you zoom in and you're going to see the stitching. If I turn off the black and just leave it white, of course it's hard to see. If you want stitching on your garment, leave it white, because even in Substance Painter you can change the color of the stitching. So I'm going to leave it white, but I'm zooming in so that you can see that it is there. You see I missed a spot, so we're going to go back and zoom in again. And that should fix that issue there and that spot that I missed. And this spot that I missed as well. So you may have to zoom in to make sure you get all the stitching. Unless you don't want it on both. You don't have to. It's all up to you. So that's the last step that you're going to do as far as the stitching goes. So then what you're going to do is you're going to prepare the fabric. So now we're going to highlight the actual dress. Y'all know how to do that. Assign to new fabric. When you go over here, you assign to new fabric, you're going to double click in this area and rename it. I'm going to pause because now it's thinking about it. So don't be discouraged, class, because even my program freezes as well. So double click. You're going to rename this to dress or whatever the main part of the garment is. Then all you're going to have left is what's left. So, but then I want you to go over to the sleeves. Highlight those. Assign that to a fabric. Double click. Sleeves. So you have sleeves, you have your dress. If you have a collar, you're going to click on that, assign that to a fabric, a separate fabric. Call that collar. And then everything else, any trim that you have, that should all be on one fabric or one level. So that's all I have left is my trim. So I'm going to double click. Call that trim. Now you have all of this done. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pre-save your garment, meaning we're going to highlight it and you're just going to go over here and you're going to do save as garment, and you're going to do is you're going to do your initials for your company. You're going to indicate what body it is. This is a reborn. You're going to indicate what pose it is. This is an A pose. You're going to do A pose. And then you're just going to hit save. And it's going to show up over here. If you have your garment section highlighted, you'll see it pop up over here. So you've pre-saved it. Now your next step is you're going to go over here. This is your fabrics tab. So you're going to left click to make sure it's open, and then you're going to go down to mesh. And this is how it will look before we do the next process. This is also what happens when your particle distance is at 10. This is what it looks like when it's at 10. So that I'm preparing you all for rigging, you're going to take it up to 20. It's going to look like this. This is much better for when you rig. Again, you're not going to worry about the nipples. Those can be removed within the body HUD. And if not, then we'll go from there. So before you do anything else, you want to check it. And I see over here that this is still at 10. So I'm going to take that back down to 3. And then I'm going to go back and save as project. And then I'm going to save over it because I had to fix that. It's going to ask you, yes, you want to save over it. Okay. So now that that is fixed, I'm going to go back to mesh and see it like this. So your next step is you're going to make sure you have the whole thing highlighted. So you're going to be in transform tool, and you're just going to left click and drag it over the whole thing. Now when you do this, you're going to do each piece at a time. Save them separate. Even if you have them layered, I want you to save them separately. So that means make them separately. Then you combine them together so that they fit and layer properly. Then you go back to the separate saves, and this is what you're going to do. This is going to help you with your rigging, and it'll make your garments look better. So we go here, make sure everything is highlighted. You're going to go over onto the 3D side. You're going to right click, and you're going to go up to quadrangulate, and you're going to just click on that. It's going to turn it into this. This is the proper way that your mesh is supposed to look, prepared for not only texturing but rigging. So that's how it's supposed to look. You're going to do this to the top, the bottom, and the jacket individually. But if you want it all as one fit, a top, a bottom, a jacket, if you want them to wear it all as one, again, if you want them to wear it all as one, a top, a bottom, and a jacket, then you do this to the whole thing. But if you want layers, you do this to each individual layer separately. So once you've quadrangulated it, then you're gonna go back up here, put it back on whatever you had it on. If it's thick, leave it on thick. You're going to simulate it one more time because it does tend to do this sometimes. Once you do that, just kind of help it along a little bit. If you don't like the fact that it's sitting on 20, then you can go take it back down to 10. But I'm going to show you what happens when you take it at this point back down to 10. So it's going to pause, and this is what happens when you take it back down to 10. It gives you more surface. It makes it more accurate. Now you're going to rig them both on 20 and on 10 and bring them in where we're going to do them both. And then it's up to you to decide which one you prefer. You can even go somewhere in between 10 and 20. But for right now, I want you to get comfortable with leaving it either on 10 or 20. So now that that has been taken care of, see, it looks good. You know, if you have little bunches here and there, you want to just kind of pull it out a little bit. If you feel like you need to add a dart, add a dart. If you like the bunching, then leave it. But how you finish this when you take it out is how it'll look when you start texturing it and when you rig it. So keep that in mind. Next, we have all that done. You have all your levels done. You want to separate everything. This looks good. So the next step, what you're going to do is you're going to go over here and you're going to go down here to UV editor. And that's going to pull up this box. Now, what you see in a 2D screen is what you see over here, but just a little bit different. So all we're going to worry about is this box here. And you see your pattern here. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to right click within this box and you're going to go to fit all UV to 0-1. You're going to left click on that. And it's going to fit it all in this box. When you get this little drop down, you're going to hit OK. So now it needs to look like the 2D screen. It needs to look like this. None of the stuff needs to be touching. You see how these are really close? This is the start of your, if you're going to do full perm mesh, this is how you make the full perm mesh. This is the AO map. We are creating an AO map right now. This is a basic AO map. So this is how you're going to do it. You have to position these in ways so that they're not touching. I'm going to zoom in. You see how close these are? They cannot be touching. Because this is also going to help Blender know what to do. Does not have to be perfect. As long as it's not touching each other or the four walls around it. Now, the more detail, the more you add to your garment, the less space you're going to have. Now, this here is the trim that we added. Any buttons, any zippers, all of that will be here. So you have to make sure that you have the space, and I'm going to show you how to fix it so that you have the space. So my advice to you is to make something simple at first. Simple dress, a simple jacket, a simple pair of pants, something. We got to pause and wait for it because it's freezing again. So make something simple at first till you get the hang of this. Then once you have everything separated, you can highlight it all and you can move it so that it's not touching anything, and this is fine. You can individually make them bigger if you want. but it really doesn't matter. But this is fine. So the next step, once you have all that taken care of, you're going to go up here to your base textures. You're going to click on that, and you're going to find a pathing. At this point, you're going to go back into whatever week this is. You can put this in this folder, or if you have created a folder system for your company, then you can put this in the correct folder. So like if it's a pair of pants, put it in your pants folder. If it's a shirt, put it in that folder. If it's a jacket, put it in that folder, and so on and so forth. At this point, this is what you do. So you're going to just navigate to that. I already have mine up here. So you're going to find where you're going to put it. I would suggest, since this is you're going to go into Substance Painter, I would create a folder for that. That way it'll be easier for you to find it. So this is a dress. And this is for Reborn. That's the other thing. When you start saving these, whatever it is, whether it's a dress, a top, a bottom, make a folder for each body. So this is the Reborn. It's going in my Reborn folder. So again, your initials for your company, what body it is, what pose it's in, and then if you plan on making different versions, you can add a version. But I'm just going to put dress here. So once you've done that, then you're going to hit save. And it's going to have it in that folder. You don't need to worry about the size. You want to leave it at this. Don't worry about this other stuff. So when you get down to texture type, you're going to click on difference, diffuse, normal, and roughness. So you're going to click on diffuse, normal, and roughness. This is all you need to worry about. Once you do that, you hit save and pay attention, because down here it's going to do the work, but it won't close this. Once it's done that, then you close. You're going to go back to your fabric. You have now saved your garment to prepare for not just rigging, but for Substance Painter. The next step, you're going to highlight this, and we're going to go back over here. You're going to save as. You're going to go back to here, garment. You're going to go back to your original save. You're going to click on this, but you're going to change it. Instead of just saying a pose, you're just going to make sure you indicate what it is, a dress. Then you're going to do, put some type of notation on here to where it's done. So like finished. So that you know that this is a finished product. That way, when you go back to it to size it for the other body, you know that this is the finished product, and the other one you're still working on. So after you do finished, you hit save. Because remember, that first one you didn't size it down, you didn't correct triangulate it. That word is very hard to pronounce. You didn't do that. But this one you did. So now that you've done that, you have an extra copy. You're going to go back up here to File, and you're going to export OBJ selected. So remember, I'm going to do it again. Export OBJ selected. Okay, it's going to pull this up. And you're going to navigate to whatever folder you put it in originally. And So this is a dress. This is reborn. And you see I have other stuff in here. So once again, you see you're going to put this down. It'll highlight it. And you can use this as an example, but don't save it. Just going to take away that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to type low poly for this one, because this is a low polygon version. So when you get up to here and you get it into the folder you want it in, you're going to type low poly, hit save. It's going to take you to here. And there's a reason we're doing it like this. So when you get to this export OBJ menu, you're going to see all of this. Okay. Now, when saving this, you're going to leave, don't touch the single object, because it's a single object. But when you get down here, it's going to automatically be on unwielded. You want it on welded. And that's it. That's the only thing I want you to change. Leave it unwelded. If it's something that's got some thickness to it, change it to thick. But other than that, leave it alone. See, it's got all this stuff done. You don't want all this, so you're going to get rid of that. You're going to get rid of that. So all you want is this. And it's showing you an example of what you have done here. You really don't need this either. So you click off of this. So just click off of that and check that. Everything else is fine. Don't change anything else. Then you're going to hit OK. It's going to export it. Then you're going to do it again. So you go back up here, export, OBJ selected. Then you're going to go up here where it says low poly, and you're going to change this to high poly. That's the only thing I want you to change is high poly. Save. It's going to keep this menu out. Now what you're going to do is, you see where it says save all graphics and trims. You're going to click on this, and that's it. Unclick this. Remember, change it to thick if it's thick, and then scroll down and hit OK. And this is how you should save it. And that's it. That's all I want you to do. I want y'all to practice this. If you run into some issues, again, let me know. Remember, have fun, breathe, and get excited, because we're getting into Substance Paint. You're going to start texturing your clothing.